welcome. Before we get started, I'd like to do our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the land on which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, whose culture has now been erased forever. We also acknowledge the island of Ukta-Unguk as the unceded traditional territory of the Beothuk and the Mi'kmaq. And we acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Inu of Nitassinan, and the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatukavut. We recognize all First Peoples who were here before us, those who live with us now, and the 7 generations to come. As First Peoples have done since time immemorial, we strive to be the responsible stewards of the land and to respect the cultures, ceremonies, and traditions of all who call it home. As we open our hearts and our minds to the past, we commit ourselves to working in a spirit of truth and reconciliation to make a better future for all.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, everyone. My name is John Abbott, for those who don't know me, and one of my jobs is Minister responsible for the Newfoundland Labrador Housing Corporation. That's the main reason we're here today. I want to recognize Deputy Mayor Sheila Larry, thanks for coming out. All our others from the community, from the Board of Directors, Premier obviously, and Alexis, so thanks for being here. So, collectively, as my responsibility is very broad when it comes to dealing with the social programs and social policy issues here in the province. And that obviously means we deal with a lot of housing issues and homelessness issues. So we're here today really to talk about 2 key areas of focus that intersect: seniors and affordable housing in particular. And what I wanted to say here is that we all know access to affordable, adequate, and safe housing is one of the primary social determinants of health. And under the leadership of Premier Furey and Finance Minister Cody, Budget 2023, titled Your Health, Our Priority, is providing a record level of provincial investment in housing to help ensure that everyone has a safe and affordable home. And it's certainly my pleasure now to invite the Premier to speak and come to the podium to talk about today's announcement. Premier.
There you go.
My apologies.
That's all good. No blue folders here, John. First of all, before I begin, I wanted to, it struck me as I walked in what a great cross-section of Newfoundland and Labrador and of St. John's in particular that we have represented in the room. And I have to tell you that the Minister and I are incredibly grateful to be able to work with such incredible individuals as yourselves with a common goal, a goal to create a more sustainable, a bright, an optimistic future for Newfoundland and Labrador. And that can't be done in the closed rooms of Cabinet. It can't be done even in the legislature. It has to be done through cooperation and discussions with stakeholders. And I know some of you very well, and I know that the work that you do on the ground is incredibly important to ensuring that everybody has a safe place to lay their head, somewhere to grab a meal, and to hopefully to reach their own goals and contribute to society in their own way. So on behalf of the government and on behalf of the Minister and I thank you for every single thing that you do. I'd also like to acknowledge Minister Davis in the audience today. Minister Davis, we're very lucky in the caucus and Cabinet right now to have such a strong team, such a team that acknowledges and understands the pressures that are different in different parts of our province. And we're very lucky to have such a strong metro region voice at the table to ensure that the issues are well represented. And those issues, as I said, are different than those in Lab West and those in Corner Brook and those on the Burin Peninsula. but people like Bernie have stepped up and ensure that the voice of the metro region is well heard is greatly appreciated. And of course, Minister Abbott, who also represents this particular region. So thank you, Minister Abbott, and thank you for the introduction, despite trying to steal my notes. A special welcome to my friends and colleagues, to our hosts, Kelly, and everyone from Seniors NL, Alexis, and those here with the Canadian Home Builders Association. Our government is continuously focused on improving the lives of all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians and building a brighter, sustainable, optimistic, hopeful future. That commitment is at the core of Budget 2023 and its historic $3.9 billion investment in your healthcare, the largest single investment in healthcare in the province's history. Along with making investments in critical programs and services, thanks to the guidance of Minister of Finance, Siobhan Cody, and her team, we are lowering our borrowing costs and putting money aside into a future fund. We are also continuing to put money back in the pockets of hardworking Newfoundlanders and Labradorians with help during this time of high cost of living. All, my friends, while growing our population and reducing our unemployment rate for the first time in decades. We have the highest population growth since 1971, the lowest unemployment rate since 1976 when they began measuring it. And we continue to develop modernize existing industries while creating new ones for future generations. In doing all that, we remain focused on all members of our population, supporting seniors, those with lower incomes, and the more vulnerable people in our province. Because I truly believe every society will be judged on how they handle and treat and respect and support the most vulnerable in society. All of this, my friends, all of this is done together with each and every one of you. Together, we are creating a bright, optimistic, and hopeful future for everyone in this province. No one should be left behind in that dream. Which brings us to why we're here today. Everyone deserves a safe place to call home. Our government recognizes that access to affordable housing is key to improving health and social outcomes for individuals and for families and for society alike, to help them build a sustainable, stable future. This is a key social determinant of health and a driver to better health outcomes, those health outcomes that we want to see change collectively as a province. As highlighted in Budget 2023, I am pleased to announce a new $70 million affordable housing program. The affordable housing program will enable us to significantly increase opportunities to develop a broad range of affordable rental housing options throughout our province. This new program will assist vulnerable individuals and families with a focus on seniors, people experiencing homelessness, young adults, persons with disabilities, Indigenous peoples, and recent immigrants. Building on over 750 new housing options advanced in the last couple of years, this investment of $70 million will see the construction of over 850 new affordable homes in the rental market over the next coming years. This investment will also present opportunities to contribute to the provincial economy through the construction activity that will be involved. Our government's investment in infrastructure programs like this one will help improve the overall well-being of individuals, families, and communities. It will help make people healthier, help them live longer, and contribute to their overall level of happiness. As we continue to become a modern Newfoundland and Labrador for a modern global economy, we need to make sure no one is left behind. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Premier, for your continued commitment to improving health and housing outcomes here for all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. Next, I want to invite Alexis Foster. I'm going to say a new mother. She's just back to work, Executive Officer of the Canadian Home Builders Association, Newfoundland and Labrador. She has a few remarks as well. Alexis.
Thank you very much, Minister. So the Canadian Home Builders Association of Newfoundland and Labrador is thrilled with the announcement of the new affordable housing plan that was announced in the 2023 budget and again here today. Affordable housing should be a basic right for everyone. It is integral to our community. We are excited to work with government and all of its stakeholders to help achieve the goals set out by this affordable housing plan. We thank government for including us, our association, and the voices of our members in this initiative. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, Alexis, and certainly looking forward to our continued and building on that partnership. And one of the things we have to do shortly after this announcement is just get down to brass tacks with finalizing the details on the program. So, next up is our host, Kelly Heiss, on behalf of the Seniors NL. Kelly, if you wish to come forward, please.
Thanks, everyone. This is, I think, very welcome news for us. I certainly smiled from ear to ear when I read that document when I was in lockdown. That's always so much fun. It was great to see Siobhan there, and of course Minister Abbott. It's great to have a chat, but it is indeed welcome news for our population that we serve. We have seen a steady increase in the number of housing inquiries and referrals to those that can support seniors, either moving in particular, but the pressures of the rents we hear daily, and to have the living in subsidized and affordable housing will allow them to keep money in their pocket given the rising cost of everything else. So it's welcome news, and I want to say thank you so much, and we look forward to working with all the stakeholders in improving the quality of life of everyone who lives in our community. Thank you.
Well, thank you again, Kelly, for hosting us here today and for the meeting we had just recently with some of your board members to talk about how we build on our working relationship. Today's announcement of $70 million represents a significant opportunity to expand the much-needed affordable and accessible housing options throughout the province. And we want to focus on seniors, but this program will also include young adults, as the Premier said, Indigenous peoples, peoples with disabilities, immigrants, and people experiencing homelessness. We know the need and demand is quite significant, and this will go a long way in assisting in that regard. As I mentioned, we'll certainly be working and consulting with the Home Builders Association within the next days and weeks to finalize the design of the program, as it was only announced last week, and we anticipate issuing a proposal call to the community in the month of May. The proposal call will be open to private and nonprofit groups, including municipalities and Indigenous organizations. And we will looking forward to the federal budget tonight, because we want to be able to work with the federal government to see if we can leverage our funding with theirs to even expand this program over the next 2 to 3 years. What this demonstrates, I think, and the Premier alluded to it in his opening comments, is that today's announcement is a great example of how we can work together to support the long-term sustainability of affordable housing and the needs of our citizens here in the province. As a government, we remain committed to addressing the housing needs in our communities and look forward to attending certainly more events like this in the days and weeks ahead as we celebrate the expansion of affordable housing here in the province. And I just wanted to just clarify one point that was in the media earlier in the week. This is new, this is additional funding, and it is on top of all the other funding we've announced when it comes to units in Pleasantville and in Western Newfoundland, and any of the shelter funding that we've provided over the past weeks and months. So just wanted to clarify that for folks. So with that, I'm going to call this to a close and thank everyone for coming out here today. Thank you. Thank you.